it's me, Ingrid INFP, and I was about to delete my channel today. I have my reasons for wanting to do that, but I also have reasons to stay because I would regret it if I left. So here I am again. I wanted to make a video in a response to, I'm guessing, a TI user on my FI video from, well, a few months ago. And this person is confused about FI, like we all are, because I can't explain it very well. And I don't have the right vocabulary to describe it, which was a question that this person had is what if I could explain it better with better words. The truth is, I don't know how to explain this. But this person wondered if I could explain the little flame inside of me that I had, and how that would relate to my construction of a self, which was an innate desire that I had. And I don't know how to explain this, because for me, my emotions are intertwined with my constructions in my mind. So they don't make sense in the TI sense. So for me, it feels like a little flame, but it's not like it's an actual flame. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for how it drives you, it keeps you going. And the construction is not a very like regular construction like a house, you know. It's not, it doesn't, if I were to explain FI as a construction, as a structure, then like it would fall apart. It's like talking about a castle made of clouds or something like that. Yeah, sure, it's a castle, but there's no construction behind it. There's no building stones, or it's just a structure that seems to exist. And I'm not consciously building that castle. It's just the castle is there, and I see the castle changing with time. If we take the castle to be like my identity, my sense of values. Another thing this person asked is, how can FI emulate FE in that it can have values such as integrity and empathy that is outside of the self, like not self-centeredness, like empathetic and integrity, which isn't just about serving my needs. That's kind of hard to explain as well, but I think that every INFP, we all have our different values. We're not all the same, but I think that we see that the world would be a better place if everybody was kind to each other, was kinder to each other, was few of us really want bad things to happen in the world. And by bad things, I mean like selfishness, grief, anger that is uncontrolled, or ignorance. There are certain values that we think that if more people had them, we would live in a better world. And we are NFs, so we have a certain idealism of how the world should be, and we are interested in helping the world becoming a better place. and that can take many forms. I mean, some INFPs are very antisocial and hermit-like. Some are more activists. But I think that we all have a feeling that we would like the world to be kinder. And that starts in our minds, the world becoming better. If we want the world to be better, we have to start with ourselves, right? So if we're evil, then the world is not going to get better. Sometimes we turn towards cynicism and all that because we don't want to, because we've been so jaded by how the world actually is. But we do feel like we need to be good people generally in order to create the world that we want to live in. And that's how we use our values to become less self-centered, to be interested in the good in the world and bettering life for other people. So in that way, INFPs can be very empathetic. And there is a part of it that is choice, but there's also a part of it that we are sensitive people, so empathy, like feeling emotions for others, is not always a choice for us. Sometimes it's just how we're wired. So we try to use that skill of ours to the benefit of others. So yeah, that's what this I'm guessing TI user, I don't know, talks about this intra-connectedness or intra-relationship, like with other people. I don't know. We are not just stuck in our own bubble, even if we can get into that place sometimes when we're depressed. I think that a healthy INFP is interested in other people. We also use any we want to broaden our ideas, and to broaden our ideas we have to be connected to other people, and we just want to connect with other people, and to do so you need to be a good person. And we realize, I think, pretty young that by being good, sure, a lot of bad things can happen because of that, but also you're attracting a lot of good towards yourself if you're nice, basically. So in that way it is kind of self-serving, but it's also, we do care. We do care. So that's about how FI is intra-connected, or like useful for other people, you could say. And about the question about how the little flame inside feels like, I can't describe it. It's like the willpower to live. And why FI is both that and the construction of self is hard to explain, because every function has several different areas to them, like I'd say maybe SI, for example, is both about memory and tradition, but also about detail orientation, like being detail oriented. These things maybe don't seem very interconnected at all, but they are within the realm of the same function. And it's like FE can be about social norms, but it can also be about community. Maybe those things seem very similar, but FE is also about creating harmony, and these things are connected. And that's why we use these words as functions. So every function has several things that define it, and we just limiting yourself to one. Basically, when we use our inferior functions, we're often just seeing these functions as very black and white, like seeing TE as effectiveness, but you're forgetting a whole other realm of TE if you only think of that. You're missing out on the TE that creates good working teams. You're missing out on the TE that allows for systematization in your head and clearness of thought. You're missing out on a lot of things if your functions are not well developed. Once the functions become very developed, and they're your dominant, your secondary function, then you see all of the nuance within your primary function. So FI users are very in tune with their inner voice, their self-awareness, their purpose, whatever you call that little flame inside. But it's also about, so there's that flame, but there's also about the cultivation of the self, the identity, creating your own story, kind of thing. And when you think about it, well, these things can seem very disconnected from each other, but within FI, all of these are within FI. So it's like a Chihuahua and a Great Dane. They seem very different, but they're both dogs. It's in the same umbrella term, because they both are actually kind of similar in a way, because they're both dogs. So FI, the little light that's shining inside that is burning, is maybe not the same as the construction of self, but we feel that little flame burning brighter when we are constructing the self. And it's not like we are sitting down there and actually constructing a castle. The castle is there, and we are modifying it, and it happens pretty organically, so we don't have our hand in it. It's like a garden that we are putting in work in it, but the way that the flowers grow is not something that you can control. We can just like pull out the weeds, take care of the plants, but we can't control the way that a flower is going to bloom, if it's this leaf or that leaf that's going to come out, and if this plant gets a little bit lopsided or not. We can create the best circumstances for these things to grow, but I think FI dominant users are very aware of that this is an organic process and that we can't force things. So that's how I would explain the construction of identity. It's not like we sit down there and try to construct an idea, which is much more of a, or like thinking very much. It's we're feeling it and we are dealing with this, you know, and we're observing it and trying to see what would be the best way to optimize this. But it's not like we are constructing the plants, you know, it's there. I can't explain it much better than that. This person wondered if maybe it's more of an INFP thing than an ISFP thing, to emulate FE. FE has a sort of down-to-earth quality to it that I think INFPs don't really, can't really emulate with FI and NE. We are pretty zany and out there. But I think that we do see, we have an openness of experience and of people. We are open to other people. And that's what makes us look like FE users at times, because we don't want conflict. We want harmony as well. It's just in another way. I'm sure ISFPs can also be very selfless and empathetic. But they are doing it with a different flavor. They have the SE and stuff that makes them more ready to make an impact on the world, or what makes them more down to earth. So I'm not sure about that theory, but maybe. So that was my response to that comment. Thank you for the comment. Tell me what you guys think. Have a great day. Bye.